a yoga strap. And if you don't have one, it is no big deal. I meant to actually grab an example of what you could use before I went live. However, a scarf will work, belts will work. Hi, April. It's fun to actually see who's on there. When I'm back here, I cannot see. Ooh, someone else. Hi, Sharon. All right, so you're gonna need something like this. It could be a scarf. I mean, it could even be a t-shirt. It could be a belt. Anything that will just allow you to hook your foot, because we're gonna do some stretches for our legs. Hi, Chris. All right. Pardon. Okay, so grab your strap or your belt or whatever else you might use. I mean, here's an example. Let's see what I have laying around. This is a yoga towel. So any towel could work. I could take this towel, I could sort of roll it up like this. So a towel would work. A towel would be good. Oh, April said hi. Okay, let's get on with it. Anything will work that you can grab your foot. But we're gonna start just coming down to a comfortable seat. I have a LaCroix here and the water, and I won't lie, I contemplated a cocktail. Just being honest. Didn't go for it, might eventually. If you have been running around feeding and watering children all day, I feel you, because I have to. And it's really fun. We're having a great time, but I know that it is a lot for everyone right now. Big changes, feels a little overwhelming. So I thought that doing a little gentle practice to help sort of stretch out, release a little bit of tension, alleviate any of that, especially low back stuff that might get you, might be nice right about now. And of course I'll upload it later. A few things, if you have any sort of injury or health issue that, any specific disc issue going on, please be really mindful with what we're gonna do. You don't want any sharp or shooting pain ever. We're not even looking to really actively stretch, just try to create some space and get some breath into the body. So as always, this is your practice. Listen to your body, take rest as you need to. Those of you who practice with me at the studio will probably be really familiar with, well, most of the sequence. Okay, so comfortable seat, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Just let it go out through your mouth. Dana Fald's right, breath, the mindful breath, the rhythm out and in, the wave that washes through our days, creating space for stillness, sorrow, joy, or exaltation. Full then empty, ebb and flow. Breath accompanies each step into the unknown. In the breath, the soul finds an opportunity to speak. Images or intuition, poetry, or wordless wisdom come and go. No effort, but to breathe and listen. into your practice. So I'm going to begin tonight just laying down onto your back. Sounds good, I hope. Just lay all the way down onto your back here. Oh my God. Alright. I'm just going to keep your feet planted onto the earth. Let your shoulders draw down a little bit. Okay. I'm just going to begin to notice this ability to tuck and tilt your pelvis. So we can flush the low back down to the earth, or we can press the front hip points forward. And just noticing the range of motion that you have here. Drawing it down and pushing forward. And you can start to coordinate this with breath, so you're exhaling and flushing the low back to the earth. Feels like you're pulling the front hip points and the ribs toward one another. And then inhale, press it forward. Exhale, and inhale. And what we're looking to find is that neutral pelvis, neutral spine. So it's going to be the halfway point between those two extremes, between here and overly arching. We're just settling into that happy, neutral place where you're aware of the natural curvature of your spine. It kind of feels as though you have a bottom. It's a good thing to have a bottom. And then, if it's available, pick your feet up and draw your knees in. And we can do the exact same thing here. So you pull the knees in, and now my low back is flushing to the earth. Or I can press the knees forward, and hip points forward, and I'm arching a little bit. So it's kind of like an accordion. You exhale, pull it in. Inhale, press forward. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, press forward. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, press forward. Now, keep your right knee drawing in and put your left foot down. And notice how you can do the same movement here. And what I want you to look for is that neutrality of the pelvis again, that same feeling that you had when you found the middle space. And listen, this is really subtle and really detailed, and so don't stress if you're not quite sure that you're understanding. Just do the best that you can. So you have your knee pulling in, and if you're working with acute low back pain, this is probably plenty. We can stay right here. If it's available to you, stretch your left leg out long. And then the left leg really becomes active, the more active aspect of this. Toes are pointing up, the inner thigh is rooting down, so you feel a broadening through the left side of your low back and your left hip. And then you can breathe into this compression here on the right side. The secondary benefit is that we are stimulating digestion. We are massaging the ascending colon. And we're going to take between 5 to 10 breaths in each shape. And remember that if this feels wrong for any reason, just left foot on the ground, and that might just feel more grounded anyway. And now bend your left knee. You're going to take the right leg straight up into the air and give it a little shake, 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 shake. Go ahead and circle your ankle while you're here. About 26 joints in this foot alone that need some lubrication. Circle the other way. And then shake it out again. And then right foot comes back down to the ground. And take a moment, hands onto your hips, and just notice. Notice what has changed. And then we're going to come back to that. I call it the control movement. We can either stay with the feet on the ground and tuck and tilt the pelvis, Or you can bring the knees in and do it from here. That's the exhalation. Close it in. Inhale, press forward. And now we'll switch. So left knee. And I usually have to scooch my shoulder blades down so that I can find that natural curve in my spine. So we don't want the low back flushing to the earth here. That's just going to create more dysfunction. And we don't want to overarch. We're looking for that happy, neutral pelvis. And start to breathe deeply. If you're familiar with the Dirga or the Ujjayi breath, you can start to activate those. If that's new to you, fret not. Just breathe deeply. And again, if it's available, stretching the right leg out. Inner thigh rooting down toward the earth, toes pointing up. So you're activating the adductors to create that internal rotation. And pressing your femur bone down toward the earth. Feel a broadening through the right side of the low back, the right hip. It might even feel good to sort of take this left knee just a little bit to the right so you feel the broadening there as well. And again, if there's any strain in this, totally fine to keep the right foot on the ground. Just take about 3 more breaths. Now we're massaging the descending colon. Secondary benefit here, digestion. Good. Bend your right knee, right foot back onto the ground. Take the left leg straight up into the air and shake, 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 shake it out. Circle the ankle. Try to spread your toes, articulating all of those joints. Go the other way. Excellent. Knee bends, foot back on the ground. Back to the control movement. Tucking and tilting. And if it's available, we can do this with the knees pulling in. Good. Okay. Take your feet back down onto the ground and grab whatever you're going to use. So it doesn't have to be a yoga strap. It could be a scarf. It could be a t-shirt. It could be a towel. Hook the ball of your right foot, meaning the space right below the toe line. Please don't hook your arch. And hold the strap with your left hand. And this might look reversed for you because of the whole front camera iPhone situation, but I promise this is my right leg. Hold the strap with your left hand, take your right thumb, and get right up in there into the right hip crease. So a lot of times, low back pain is really aggravated because our hips tend to externally rotate and the femur bones tend to shift forward, and that sends a lot of pressure to the SI joint. So I'm gonna manually take my thumb and push forward here. At the same time, draw down on the strap gently so it's like you're plugging the joint. And I'm still looking for that natural curve. I'm not flushing my low back to the earth like this. That's gonna just defeat the entire purpose. I'm not overarching like this. I'm finding that natural, neutral pelvis. Okay. And push forward, push forward. It actually feels good, I hope. Now, hold the strap with your right hand. It's fine to keep your left foot on the floor, or you can stretch the left leg out like this. Same action as before. Inner thigh spiraling in, so it would be spiraling clockwise, broadening through the low back. And then just start to draw the leg in, So you're looking for a stretch here through the belly of the group of hamstring muscles. You don't want to stretch through the back of the knee. These are tendons. So a little soft bend in that knee is totally fine. And this is where you just check your ego. You don't have to bring your shin to your face. It does not matter. Right? In a group class, people look around and get really competitive and think that someone who has their foot all the way to the floor or whatever is somehow doing something better. This is all about where your body is right now. You are doing great. So breathing into this. And if it feels better to you, and honestly, right now with everything feeling so overwhelming and swirling in the universe, it might just feel better to be able to push into your left foot here instead of having the leg extended. Totally up to you. Hopefully you've been breathing this whole time. Now, strap is in the right hand. Let your right leg start to open up to the right, but keep this left hip heavy. The tendency is for the left hip to want to go with, right? It thinks, oh, there's a party, I want to come. There's no party. Bring it back down. And again, we can still have this leg outstretched if that feels good to you. It's feeling better to me to have my foot on the ground. Going for the modification, you can too. And breathe. So the Sanskrit name of this posture and these various incarnations, well, hello, cat, is Supta Padangustasana, which translates hand to big toe pose. And I don't know about you, but I mean, I can reach that toe maybe, but it's a lot nicer just to have a strap. Bring that back through center and just feel into the pelvis again. Make sure it's staying neutral. And switch hands. Do the little trick with your thumb again. Push it forward. And now we're going to go across. And this is going to be a stretch for the piriformis muscle. A lot of times piriformis syndrome mimics the symptoms associated with sciatica. And it also is just going to stimulate the area around your IT band. So starting with the left knee, let it just start to drop over to the left, and then my right leg is going to start to come across the body, just until I start to get a little bit of sensation. Ooh, and I really don't go very far with this. I find that I get the better stretch if I go really slow and just stay where I'm getting the initial sensation. And again, we can sort of push the hip forward here. And I'm getting a lot of sensation through the outer thigh. This is a really, really good one when your low back is feeling cranky. Just take a couple more deep breaths. And it's fine to let your hands slide down your towel or your strap so that your arm is resting on the earth. So just notice the difference here. I could very easily just go bonk all the way over, and now there's no sensation. I'm just sort of out of alignment. Things are out of whack. I'm going to bring it back here, and now I'm getting a lot of sensation. So I see a lot of times people just think that going farther into a pose is better, and that's not the case. My cat is really excited that I am here on the floor. All right, we'll come back through center. And see if maybe you've opened up a little bit in the leg. We'll release the strap. Shake, shake, shake it out. Then, let your knee turn out to the right and set your ankle down on the top of your left thigh. And I'm just going to wiggle my hips a little bit. I want to bring the hips so that they're even. Take the heel of your right hand and get right up there into your hip crease. Push forward. So yoga really gives us this opportunity to just get very in touch with our physicality, even using our hands to sort of create space. And see if you can take some deep breaths into that right hip. Now, the last time I put my back out and really injured my back was, I think, 2014. And it took me about a month to rehab that, which was a lot better than the doctors telling me it would take 3 months. And this is really the sequence that I used for the most part, but this was all I could do. Right? I'm still going for that neutral pelvis, still feel the natural curvature of the spine. And like 3 days in, I could lift that high and lift my left foot. Can you see, or is my cat blocking you? Eventually, we can bring the knee in, only if this feels okay to you. And just imagine that you're pressing the foot against a flat surface, so the ankle does not sickle, the knee does not torque. Now, if you cannot reach the back of your thigh, we could strap it like this. That's a lovely modification. If you can interlace your fingers behind the back of your left hamstring, do so, and rock a little bit. And when I'm working with clients with low back issues, I like to do 2 variations here. We can pull it in, so now I am flushing the low back to the earth. Or I can go isometric and push my thigh into my hands, even as I'm resisting a little bit. So now I really feel that natural curve of the low back, that neutral pelvis. And both are beneficial. Back in 2014, when I had injured myself, I got a lot of relief with that isometric variation. So keep your pelvis neutral, release your hands. And we're going to take this into a sleeping pigeon. This is a sleeping pigeon twist. So this entire situation is going to go all the way over to the left. Oh, good. So now the outer strip of my left thigh is on the ground, my right foot's on the ground. I'm using my left hand to hold my right ankle, my right arm is extended. And muscularly, I'm pressing my right knee away from myself. And everyone feels this one a little bit different. Remember, no sharp or shooting pain. Less is almost always more, especially when it comes to this kind of practice. Deep breath. These little pockets of quiet are purposeful. We are so overstimulated. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, bring this back through center, back the way you came. Set the left foot down. Right leg up, shake, 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 shake. Put down. And I like here, in between sides, to just take a big full body stretch. Stretch everything out. And relax for a moment. And see if you can feel any difference between your right side and your left side. If you practiced the flow class with me earlier, mentioned Hatha Yoga Nushasanam, now the inquiry of yoga. Right, this is the inquiry. What did I just do? What happened? And so I hope you feel better on the right side now and are inspired to go over to the left side. So bend your knees. You can take your little control movement here, just pressing the pelvis forward and back, or do it with the knees drawing in. And now we're going to keep the right foot on the ground. I'm going to grab my strap. I'll twist it up. Of course. It's real life. And strap the ball of the left foot. Right. Hold the strap with the right hand. Take the left thumb into the left hip crease. Push forward. It's almost like you're a Barbie foot. Poor Barbie is in a perpetual high heel. We don't even start talking about that. But she is. So you're going to press in the ball of the foot like you're wearing a high-heeled shoe. And then push the thumb into that hip crease, pressing forward. Find that neutral pelvis, natural curve in the low back. Now for me, my left leg is just a lot tighter than my right. This is just part of yoga. We start to learn these interesting things about the body. And almost everyone has this sort of imbalance or asymmetry. You weren't stamped out in the factory, so your femur bone on the right side and the left side are probably different, just slightly different lengths, right? You probably have a dominant side, a stronger side. So a lot of times it will feel like, oh, this is someone else's body. This bears no relation to the other leg. And that's okay. That's the deal. You can stretch this right leg out. Get inner right thigh rooting down, drawing it in. We're looking for that sensation in the belly of the musculature and then breathing into it. Trying to adjust my strap while you're breathing, since I messed it up. Take a couple more deep breaths. This is a practice of patience. I'm switching hands. Hold the strap with your left hand. My toes are pointing to 12 o'clock. I don't think I said that on the other side. I should have. So we're getting into really nice alignment. Remember, this knee could stay bent, foot on the ground, or leg out stretched. Start to turn your toes out so the hip starts to externally rotate. And then let the leg drop open. Right hip wants to go to the party. There's no party. Keep the right hip heavy. You can even put your hand on it. A lot of times in yoga, we talk about hip opening. It's actually a little bit of a misnomer because the joint just rotates. It goes in a circle. But, say lucky. It seems to make sense in our brain to think of open and closed. A couple more deep breaths here. Bring the strap back through center. Switch hands. Hold with the right hand. Find some space there. Digging the thumb into the hip crease. You can bend the right knee, foot on the ground. Even if your leg is outstretched, as you come across, I recommend just a little soft bend. And you can even press into the pinky edge of the right foot. So yeah, this leg, is so different. Getting a ton of sensation. And notice I could very easily go wonk all the way over, and now there's really nothing happening. I'm just in a very contorted, odd position. We let our ego start to control us here a little bit. So sweep that ego right off the mat. You can push the left hip forward gently, getting some stimulation here in the outer thigh, touching into the piriformis muscle. Breathe. Almost done. Bringing that leg back through center. See if you created a little more space. Feels a little better. Then bend your right knee if it isn't already bent, foot onto the ground. Unstrap foot. You might go ahead and strap the back of your right thigh if you know you're going to need that for your sleeping pigeon. Let the knee turn out to the left. Ankle rests here on the thigh. I'm just going to sort of check in little micro movements. I think that might actually be sort of specific to the Kripalu tradition in which I was trained. We're all about the movement inquiry, noticing how you feel. So hips are going to be even, then heel of the left hand, push into the left hip crease. Breathe as though you had a little lung right there in your left hip. Then, if it's available, this might be plenty. If it's available, right foot, pick it up. And I like to rock a little bit as I find my way. Hands behind the right hamstring. Rock, rock, rock a little bit. And remember, you have the option. You can draw this in so the low back does flush to the earth. You can even use your left elbow to sort of nudge the left thigh forward. Or we can work isometrically, pressing the thigh into the hand. So you got a little bit of natural curve in the spine. You're resisting yourself a little bit. When I was rehabbing with my own back, I would do, I think it was 1 minute or 2 minutes in each variation. A little timer I would set. Then release your hands, let it come forward just enough that you're aware of the natural curve. I've said that 100 times because it's that important. And then everything is going to drop over slowly to the right. Bonk. So my left foot is now on the ground, outer strip of the right thigh is on the ground, left arm out, holding the right ankle with the, holding the left ankle with the right hand, and press that knee forward. I'm so glad that Cathead is getting so much camera time. He clearly has bigger dreams than I knew, so he's looking for an agent, I think. And this sleeping pigeon twist is a posture we can practice as a yin posture where we stay here. I've been in classes where we've been in this pose for 10 minutes. That gets actually more mentally challenging than physically, to be honest. Keep breathing, really deep breath. And exhale, bring that back through center. Put the right foot down, left leg up into the air, shake, 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 shake it out. Put back down, and do your little control movement. You can even sort of pick your bottom up and squeeze it. So you're keeping the mid back on the ground and just squeezing your glutes and then putting it back down, pressing forward. And big, full body stretch. Take a moment, notice how you feel. So we just did that whole sequence on the back. And if you now just want to come into a nice big juicy Shavasana, you can. One thing I'll point out for those of you who might be working with low back pain right now is that if it's uncomfortable to be flat in that way, a bolster here can be really supportive. So it doesn't have to be a bolster. I talked yesterday all about how we can tear apart the living room and grab all the couch cushions and stack them. So that is an option. You don't want to tear your couch apart and you don't have a bolster, it might feel good just to keep the feet on the ground. So take the variation that serves you. Take a deep breath in. Out through your mouth. encourage you to rest here as long as you are able. In the yoga for back pain workshop I've led many times over the years, we do a few other movements and postures, and then I always include a yoga nidra practice, because truly if you are working with injury, if you're working with pain, there is nothing more healing than a deep relaxation practice. And I'll be offering yoga nidra later in the week, so hopefully you can join me. For now, I'm going to let you rest and close out this practice. If you are done and you're gonna go make some dinner like I will be doing after Lily and I do some art, you can join me in a comfortable seated position, bringing your hands in front of your heart, dropping the chin to the chest, a gesture of gratitude towards self for taking the time to practice. Om Shanti, 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 Om peace, peace, peace. Jai Bhagwan. Namaste. Thank you for practicing. See you soon.